call to worship. Happens 4 or 5 times a day. These are spread all over the city. The speakers are at the top of this tower on the right.
What mosque is that, huh?
I don't know, do you?
Hello. I did. I took your picture. Video. Say something. Sing a song.
Istanbul's famous Bosphorus on board one of the many Bosphorus cruise boats available. Cruise along the Bosphorus, capturing stunning views of the city and taking the sights as you sail between two vast continents. Refreshments are usually available on board. Many large and small domes, minarets and a courtyard, this beautiful mosque is one of the best-known sights of Istanbul.
The Bosphorus is a body of water that connects the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara, which then goes out the Dardanelles into the Aegean. And since it connects the Black Sea, one knows that the Crimean Peninsula belonging to Russia is a very important spot. So that Russia would be interested in Istanbul very much so. From the 5th century BC on, the city of Kavala was surrounded by a defensive wall. This was repeatedly modified over time. Extensive modifications and repairs were carried out after the Roman Emperor Julian, then by Justinian, and again in 926 by Basil Cladon, general of the theme of Strymon. A major modification took place in 1307 during the reign of another Roman, and when the long walls from the sea to the top of the hill were built, the fortifications incorporated the city's water supply. The Byzantine castle was completely destroyed in 1391 when the Turks captured the city. The castle was rebuilt by the Ottomans in 1425, and what we see today is mostly the result of that reconstruction.
City of Kavala from the castle. This is Marcus, my very good guide and caretaker. Keep me from falling down, hopefully.
I think so.
Yeah.
This one's got the special K in it anyhow. Yeah.
Thank you.
will be arriving in Capes, which is the port city of Tefnakali, and the ship furnishes a shuttle bus to transport to the center of town, where we will walk to see the Trojan Horse and also the naval base of Turkish Navy. In 1915, during the First World War, British Empire and France attempted to capture the Ottoman capital of Istanbul and secure a sea route to Russia, known as the Gallipoli Campaign or the Dardanelles Campaign. In Turkey, it's referred to as the Battle of Çanakkale. During March 1915, when the Royal Navy failed to force the Dardanelles and suffered severe losses during a series of operations. This is the Trojan Horse that was used in the movie Troy with Brad Pitt. Çanakkale is the nearest major town to the site of ancient Troy.
This is the grounds of the Naval Museum in Çikala, Turkey. This is the Dardanelles, and this would be going into the northern Aegean Sea, headed for the Greek Isles.
The HMS Triumph, HMS Ocean, HMS Goliath, HMS Irresistible, and the French battleship Bouvier were all sunk. The French submarine Q-84 Jules and the Australian submarine AE-2 were also destroyed, and several other important ships were crippled also. Most of the damage was inflicted by mines, though a German U-boat who was fighting on the
This is the Gallipoli Monument.
This monument's also known as the Martyrs Monument. It's also dedicated to the Gallipoli campaign. The Turkish flag is at half-mast now because of the attack in Ankara by the terrorists. Ankara is the capital of Turkey. There are two white columns here that mark the cemetery of those that died during the Gallipoli campaign of 1915. The simple date of 1915 of March is a reminder of the day when a combined fleet of British and French battleships sailed up the Dardanelles and shelled the Turkish forts and gun emplacements. Çanakkale itself suffered greatly from this bombardment, but defeated the British-French combined forces. Dikili, Turkey, is where one would go to the Acropolis of Asclepion and Pergamon. It is said that at Pergamon is where the snake wrapped around a staff became the symbol of medicine.
Building condos up on the hill so that they will have the beautiful sunset over the water. Looking Glass Lounge.
No video or audio recordings on the bridge.
Delicious, delicious Turkish lamb.
Check.
Good.
Okay.
Yes, got it, right? Video. Very good.
Sonra yine gönder benim fotoğrafımı buraya.
history buffs will want to forego Dikili's beaches and head to nearby Bergama to explore the ruins of ancient Pergamon. We had been there before, so we elected to just stay in town.
With this
They're harvesting hazelnuts,
Turkish
which will be used for fuel.
Oh, yes. There we go.
The fortress.
Hard work.
okay.
Candeli, Fortress of Candeli.
And
Okay. And what's this up here?
Dikili.
Dikili. Okay.
you're missing something.
Behind us.
I know,
Good morning.
Are you safe?
Good morning.
Morning.
Now, wasn't that good timing?
Yeah.
Very good.
What ship is that, Joe?
Jan says it's the Holland America.
Is it?
I don't know which one.
What's it like out there?
Go see.
This is a carpet in a frame that's just exquisite. Rather expensive also.
He is actually.
Hey Doc,
Yeah.
are you ready?
Well, I'm waiting on my package.
And then you're gonna carry it?
No, we
Yeah.
ship it.
No, I'm not going. He's trying to sell me this rug. I told him I give him $400 for it. He says, I like you, but I don't like you that much.
They try to get about $3,000 US for one of these carpets. That'd be-
That's what I tell her, all the cameramen. Isn't it correct? Okay.
Well, if you take like this.
Oh, like that? Uh-huh. That, and then you could hang it around the neck. Okay. And then you have that. Let's see. Yes. Good. I'll turn it over. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a neat idea. Nice.
This is the modern pavilion that the As Amazing Evening was performed.
Anybody else from number one? Number one. Please come closer.
Videos were playing on the wall to show what the life in Ephesus might have been like during its time. The theme of the play was the marriage of Mark Antony and Cleopatra, and the performance was done.
Picture here.
Picture. Okay.
I put some perfume.
We have reached the island of Patmos now. The fortress-like monastery of St. John towers above the town of Cora. Among the treasures, stunning frescoes and exquisite Byzantine works of art. This is the town of Scala, which is the port city of Patmos. Patmos has no airport, so one has to get here by either hydrofoil or ferry, and it can make it sometimes difficult. St. John the Divine was exiled here in 95 AD for preaching Christianity. Christian pilgrims have been drawn to Patmos since St. John the Divine wrote the book of Revelation here during his years of exile in the 1st century AD. Despite its diminutive size, just 13 square miles, the isle boasts some 300 churches, roughly one for each 10 inhabitants. We've hired a taxi to take us up to the top of the monastery and to the cave of the Apocalypse.
Thank you. Ευχαριστώ. Ευχαριστώ.
This is the town of Scala from the area of the monastery, and looking over to the right, barely see the tip of the Azamara Journey ship. There it is.
That's where we were.
This is the Grotto of St. John entrance, also known as the Cave of the Apocalypse, is where John is said to have written the book of Revelations. We've come back down off the mountain down into the port city of Scala and stopped for a beer in a local pub. We're back aboard the ship now on the veranda and taking one last view of Patmos, a World Heritage Site, and the site where St. John the Divine wrote the book of Revelations. Rhodes' location is at a crossroads between Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Its position amidst major sea routes has given Rhodes a very rich history, as well as many different identities, cultures, architectures, and languages. The island has been inhabited since about 4000 BC. The Knights of the Leonites, or the St. John of Jerusalem, were a huge influence to the island. They left imposing evidence of their presence. And gave the particular character it retains to this day, with its impregnable walls, gates, and churches, hospitals, inns, and palaces. Their stay in Rhodes lasted 213 years until in 1522, eventually they would be known as the Knights of Malta.
The sick pilgrims. Later on it was converted to a military order. It was the sovereign military order of Rhodes and Malta, because after Rhodes they continued to Malta. Later,
You come here?
when I was 12 years old.
Are you a citizen of what?
Both countries.
You have dual
I've
citizenship?
got dual citizenship. Me and my children have dual citizenship.
Oh, your children have dual
Australia.
citizenship?
Of course I did that documentation for my children.
Sure, of course.
Before a few
About this.
Yes. Before we exit here for beautiful photos, I will tell you the position here. In between these two columns, this is where the famous Colossus of Rhodes used to stand. Of course, there is a little bit mistrusted in the history of the historian people. The main cathedral church, the Annunciation Church of Virgin Mary. It's a Gothic architecture. It was built from the Italians. They gave the same style with the medieval architecture. Before it was Catholic, when the Italians were here, it was St. John's Church. Now it's the Greek Orthodox Church. Euros deficit. With a country with no industry and with agriculture and tourism. And there is limits for the industry. It's because the European Union, according to the population, we cannot have heavy industry. They don't allow us to have industry.
Located in
It's
the eastern Aegean Sea, this airport is one of the biggest airports in Greece and the fourth busiest. It's the main entrance-exit point for both locals and tourists. It is well connected with other major Greek cities and islands, as well as with major European capitals and cities.
Greeks, the Dorians.
Temple of Apollo.
Not all of this area has been excavated. The excavation started from the Italians and they were left from the Italians. They were never continued from the Greeks. So it was left.
This is inside the old city walls, and many shops and restaurants are available for use of tourists. So tourism is a leading industry here in Rhodes. After the end of World War II, Rhodes, together with the other islands of the Dodecanese, was incorporated within Greece. On March 7, 1948, the Greek flag was finally raised over the governor's palace. Tanya, first settled during the Neolithic period, grew to become the largest city in western Crete by the time the Minoans held the sway. Romans arrived in 67 BC, but subsequent conquerors left no substantive remnants of nearly 4 centuries of Roman rule. The Byzantines ruled Crete twice between 330 AD and 1204 AD. The Egyptian lighthouse, originally built in 1570, stands at the far end of the harbor. It no longer functions as a lighthouse, but does have a light in it.
So we're now in Tanya? Sure.
Santorini first settled around 3000 BC, becoming the site of an important civilization in the period around 2000 BC. However, this civilization soon disappeared from the land as the island was engulfed by a volcanic eruption which left the island uninhabited for centuries. It was resettled by the Phoenicians and around 1000 BC by a Dorian colony. The colony's leader, Piraeus, gave the island its original name. During the Peloponnesian War, Pyrrha sided with the Spartans and eventually passed to the Macedonians, then to the Ptolemies of Egypt, before being passed to the Romans. After serving under many rulers, the island took part in the Greek Revolution of 1921 and became liberated along with the rest of the Cyclades Islands. To get up to Pyrrha from the landing, or Pyrrha's landing, you can either take a donkey and go up the walking path with the donkey, or you can take the cable car. Each is €5 and no credit cards are taken. We're going ashore on tenders that are furnished by the shore rather than use the ship's tenders. Much easier on the ship, and the people appreciate the business.
This is what we saw, Joe.
Yeah.
No. Here they come down. Yeah. Now that's what they come down. All those steps, the donkeys.
The donkeys do?
Yeah.
Down those steps. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Where those people are walking, that's what the donkeys walk up.
And it was raining that day.
Oh my.
And the
You want-
water was running down.
It
and
was
the poo was
cascading down.
cascading down as well. And
And you wonder if the donkeys are going to slip down, huh?
yeah, and so and a couple that we were with.
Yeah. This is the one. Yeah, we should have gone there.
I think a lot of how we perceive the world, how we move through it, and how we interact with other people, and how we improve around them. So there's this, when I'm drawing.
Some of these are hotels, little small boutique hotels with a magnificent view and wonderful looking patio, and one could spend lots of time here just relaxing. And this shows the Windstar with the Azamara in the caldera. We've picked up the rental car now and start driving out of Pyrrha, and this is just a long distance shot. We can see Ia into the north, and then we're heading down this
Have you seen
road
Azamara?
down to the Athenius port.
So earlier on.
Wow. Yeah, this is the Athenius port that our chauffeur has got us down to. Traditional village.
After leaving the quaint little village, we ran into this little restaurant called the Caldera View. Beautiful place, wonderful. And then we decided we'd head on to Uí rather than continue to the Akrotiri excavations.